Hey everyone. Something happened to me recently where I received a death threat on Facebook. Now, what kind of person would send me this, you ask? Well, the real question is what kind of person would be stupid enough to make a death threat towards someone on social media knowing that their post is on the web forever? Regardless if it gets deleted, it can still be traced and brought up. In enters Devin Mills. Now, I know what you're thinking. What could you have possibly done to piss him off enough where he would send you a death threat in the first place? Well, honestly, nothing. But I literally did not say anything to Devin or his kids, let alone threaten them. But going by Devin's message that he sent me after deciphering through the constant grammar, punctuation, and spelling errors, as well as the overall stupidity from his message, that I quote unquote pretty much said fuck his kids. Now, pretty much saying something isn't the same as actually saying something. And even if I did say quote unquote fuck your kids to him, so fucking what? For him to let those words dictate his thoughts to the point that he deems it necessary to threaten someone's life over it shows how fucking immature and how much of a fucking moron he really is. I think the ink from his Mike Tyson tattoo has finally killed the rest of his brain cells because he has gone completely fucking retarded. His boyfriend, who by the way looks like Santa Claus, Gary, you deck my halls if I jingle your balls, Maddock, even told him that I didn't threaten his kids. Now, who is Devin Mills, you ask? Well, if you ask him, he'll tell you that he's a disabled single father, despite not being on disability or working, hence no income whatsoever, and that he's the greatest first person shooter in the world that you don't know, that has thousands upon thousands of YouTube videos of himself on his friend's YouTube channel by the name of Divinity, and that he had sponsorships from multiple upon multiple companies endorsing him, being on G4 multiple times, and blah, 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 blah. All of which he cannot prove whatsoever. You know how many people that have probably used the name Divinity in one form or another in games over the years? A lot, I'm sure. Doesn't mean it's from the same person. However, if you ask anybody else who actually knew him or dealt with him, would tell you a much different story. I've dealt with Devin on and off before in the past, so I'm an authority in the matter in terms of discussing what kind of person he really is, and that he's a pathological liar above all else. He is also very childish, immature, self-centered, ill-tempered, mentally defective, and a all-around foolish, spineless coward. Also, just existing doesn't make you a father. You actually have to be a father to your kids. Doing meth and other drugs in front of your kids doesn't make you a father. It makes you a piece of shit. Now, I know what you're going to say. How can you say something about someone who was your friend? Well, to say that we were ever friends would imply that we hung out or communicated frequently, which isn't the case. Before this bullshit started, we were on good terms. Granted, we didn't hung out much, but we didn't have a problem with each other. And that's because I didn't have to deal with him or his bullshit constantly on a daily basis. Also, you don't have to be buddy buddy with someone to know what kind of person they are and how they act. I've dealt with this guy long enough to know that he's a piece of shit. A straight up piece of shit. And apparently, I'm not the only one that thinks this way. His kid's own grandfather is one of many people, especially in his ex-wife's side of the family, who also thinks Devin is a lying piece of shit, and with good reason. Because planting meth in someone's home where you are currently staying at, then calling the cops on them because you don't want to help out on some bills is a piece of shit move. Now, this whole bullshit started as of this recording last Saturday, September 22nd, at 8:30 in the morning. I just woke up and was making breakfast when Devin's boyfriend, Gary, I'll give you Christmas cheer if you lick my ear, Maddock, was sending me messages on Facebook Messenger hitting on me. I told him politely multiple times that I'm not interested in guys. I love pussy too much. Leave me alone. Just leave me alone. He just kept messaging me until I simply had enough. Now, I don't have anything against gay people. I really don't. Whatever they do is their own goddamn business. But when someone that just can't seem to take no as an answer and keep pushing the issue, that's when I get pissed off. So I told him to fuck off. I love pussy too much to be Santa's little helper, and that he chose the wrong house to climb down a chimney. He then called me homophobic because I didn't want to quote unquote get with him. How can I be homophobic when I'm simply not interested in guys? Especially creepy Santa Claus looking motherfuckers. Now, I could have just blocked him and be over and done with it. But he would eventually find a way to message me again through another account or get my phone number through Devin so that he could keep harassing me, either through calling or text. So I stood my ground and I told him, look, motherfucker, leave me alone. You've pissed me off enough. Leave me alone or I will kick your ass and not in a good way. Just leave me alone. He then told me that Devin said that, quote unquote, it wouldn't be a good idea because I have my kids over here. To which I told him that it didn't matter because Devin knows that I wouldn't do anything to his kids and that I was going to kick your ass and be on my way if you don't stop. Gary, just stop. That's when Devin sent me the death threat because he thought that by me not caring that his kids are there, if his kids were there in the first place, that was a direct threat to them, despite the fact that I wouldn't do anything to them, and Devin knows it. Because I've been around his kids before without any issue between me and his kids. Devin could have just talked to me rationally like a man about this by saying, look, dude, I know you're fucking pissed off. Some things were said, you're pissed. I get it. But I got my kids here. I don't want you coming over here and having a whole lot of, drama and whatnot. I don't want to expose my kids to that. To just chill. I'll deal with Gary. Just chill. And I would have been cool with it. But instead of Devin manning up like he should have done, he bitched up by sending me a death threat and then blocked me before I could even respond to his message. So, after being blocked by Devin on Facebook, I managed to have his boyfriend Gary, you give me a wiggle and I'll tickle your pickle, Maddock, send Devin a message telling Devin to go fuck himself, fuck his kids. I call his bluff because he's too much of a whiny little bitch with a retarded looking Mike Tyson tattoo to back up his threat. And that if he didn't like what I had to say, to try and come at me. His boyfriend then sent me a message of a domestic violence form that Devin filled out, supposedly, I guess to scare me or something. I asked his boyfriend Gary, you hold me tight and I'll make you feel alright, Maddock, if he or Devin knows that in order to get a domestic violence order to stick on anybody, violence had to have actually happened, which it didn't, let alone inside of a home. Facebook doesn't count as a home. After I said this, he deleted the post from my newsfeed. Then they started spam reporting Facebook on a few posts of mine where I talked about the situation that happened, as well as a post of the screenshot of the death threat that Devin sent me and got me thrown in Facebook jail for a day because I'm a bully. Yeah, I'm a bully for talking about being death threat. Yeah, okay. So I tried to tell Facebook of the death threat that Devin sent me and even sent them the screenshot of it. But Facebook didn't give a fuck whatsoever. So, whatever. So while in Facebook jail, I went on Craigslist and posted buyer beware, do not buy from Devin Mills because he sells stolen stuff, as well as going on Facebook buy sell barter groups when I got out of Facebook jail and posted it there as well. I did this because he does in fact sell stolen stuff that was from a guy's storage unit that he knew and didn't like. How do I know this? Because he told me this before this whole mess even started, as well as telling me that he's been banned from every pawn store in town because he went to every pawn store every day, multiple times, trying to pawn different stuff off from the dude's storage unit, as well as having his email address banned from eBay and Craigslist. So obviously something's up. And I know what you're probably wondering. Well, maybe he's been lying about being banned from every pawn store and whatnot. Well, if you knew Devin as long as I have, you knew when he's lying or not. And it also doesn't hurt to call these places for verification. After everything is said and done now, he can't sell anything on Facebook whatsoever anymore because he's been exposed. Good. Fuck that bitch. He did it to himself. You shouldn't go around selling other people's stuff. As I said before, all this happened last week, and after all the tough talk from Devin about sending the cops to me for a threat I didn't make, I haven't seen the cops at my apartment or anything. Nothing. Well, how come you didn't call the cops when he sent the death threat in the first place and have him arrested? Well, there's no point. First, he doesn't have a gun or money to get one for that matter. I mean, how would he shoot me? With his fingers? Bang bang! Secondly, it would do him a favor because as of this video, he's staying in an attic of a crack house in town smoking meth with little to no food or money, let alone no stable income whatsoever. It might be kicked out of there soon anyways because of it. So why would I have Devin thrown in jail on terroristic threatening in the third, where he'll have a roof over his head, 3 meals a day, indoor as well as outdoor recreation, as well as visits from his kids for a year? Fuck that. That would be helping him. So he could stay in his troll cave, all alone, smoking that troll rock until he rots away into nothingness. I've said my piece on this. He's a fucking joke, and I don't respect him. The people that have known him doesn't respect him. His own family doesn't respect him. Even his own kids don't respect him. They see him as everyone that have known him sees him. A fucking joke. Now, I usually don't talk about my personal stuff at this length, whether it be on Facebook, YouTube, or whatever. I tend to try to keep personal stuff personal, but I felt that I should say something about it to get it off of my chest. So I made this video. So, anywho, I hope you all enjoyed this video and give it a like, and I'll see you next time.